Freemers, I hope you all are doing well on this great, I don't know what day it is. It's a day, all right? Now, today, we are going to be doing something different. It's a little different, not crazy different, but I am answering a very important question. It's super important, okay? I've seen this asked a couple times in the Discord. And it's not clear, right? It's not a clear question. Ever like when they ask it, it's like people are giving different answers. Like the staff give the answer of it's one person doing it. And I chime in and say, "Oh, there's multiple people doing it." What's the question you ask? Well, I'll stop being so vague. The question is, who is working on Free Realm Sunrise? Who's developing the game? Now, staff says it's just Mayhem. I don't think that's entirely true. I always chime in and say, there are multiple people working on this game, all right? Because everyone has a part to play, everyone has a role to play, okay? It's not just Mayhem. Even though he started it, right? He's got a team now of people working with him on it. So, on a technicality, there are people helping develop this. Now, that's an easy question to answer, right? But I wanted to dive deeper today and just explain to you guys what the staff is, like what the roles mean, what they do, okay? And go from there. I did a lot of research on this, actually. I did a bunch of research on how many of each staff member there are, what they do. So yeah, without further ado, let's dive into it. So there is one thing to consider. The Free Realm Sunrise team, everyone on the team has this role, except one person, but we will get into that. They are what we know as staff. Okay? The general role means everyone who has this role is part of the staff team. So yeah, and then there's another role that I don't mention in this. Mayhem's Discord admin role, which is literally he's the server owner. That's all that is. I'm pretty sure, unless it's something completely different, but I'm pretty sure it's just, it's just a role, right? It's just a role that says he's the server owner. Okay, next thing. All right. So a lot of people don't know about this role. A lot of people forgot about it. It's not the most common role. Only one person has it right now. Okay. So the only two people that ever had the role was CJ Barrow and Flaro. Flaro has disbanded the project. I don't know if he got removed. I don't know what happened. He's not in any Discord server that I'm a part of. He gone. He disappeared into the void. So yeah, don't know what happened there. But yeah, so both of them make music for FRS. I don't know if it's ever getting input into the game. I think the tracks CJ Barrow did will probably be in the game. As far as Flaro goes, like he made so much Free Realms inspired music, and I don't think it's going into the game, but it was really cool to see this happen. I made a video. There's a video somewhere on the channel. It's old, but like I talked about Flaro and how he's making new music for FRS, and it was true because it was all like Free Realms inspired, and it's great. I went over the whole thing, but yeah, there was an audio role, and CJ Barrow currently has it. Now, I don't know what the audio role entails in the future. I don't know if he's going to keep making music for FRS. It's not clear. There's barely any information on this because it's very vague every time I've asked. Like, I wish I knew more on this, but I do not. So that is that. The audio role, it's very minimal. I don't know how important it is considering only one person has it. I do wish Flare would have stayed on the project. I'm kind of sad that he's not on it anymore, but it is what it is. All right, next thing. And for just clarification, I am going in order of importance. So we're kind of starting low on how important these roles are. We're kind of going like from like side roles to main roles, if that makes sense. Like roles that more lead to like game development will be at the end of this. So creative writing. You got Melody and Regina. Melody is the supposed lead of the creative writing team. Now, I don't know what this means, right? I didn't know how the hierarchy of this all worked. It's kind of odd that I know Regina referred to Melody as a lead, so I guess there's a creative writing lead on the team. Kind of, I don't know if that scares me. I don't think it does, but like, yeah, there's a lead, and yeah, it's not. Here's the thing, for this position, it's not clear what they'll do for FRS yet. I don't know any of this stuff. All right, that's the one thing I don't know. I don't know what will the purpose be for the creative writing team for FRS. It's not clear. I mean, I'm writing lore stories. I mean, that might lead into something, but I don't know. Another thing that it could lead into will be probably creating like quest dialogue and quest things for like future FRS content, I think. I don't know. That's a guess, but it's a bit of a long shot, but for now the roles are just there. They're just on the creative writing team. I don't know what they're doing. I would love to know, but I mean, if I get on the creative writing team, I'll find out. But, you know, until then, we're in the dark on that one. But yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. I like deep diving into these roles because, one, you guys get to learn more about what they do. Okay? You get to learn what they do. You get to learn how important the roles are. And it's crazy. So next one. It's a big one. The enforcement team. Okay. So I did some research. I did some big boy research on this one. You got Galaxy, senior enforcer. Emily, senior enforcer. I didn't even know there was a second senior enforcer. Okay. Natai is also an enforcer. Okay. Didn't know that. Well, I did and I didn't. Like, I knew about it, but like I forgot about it. Dusk, Gray, Sky, Elk, Luna, Mimi, and Joanne. It's a lot of enforcement. But yeah, the one thing that's confusing, so Emily is a senior enforcer. The one person that's on the FRS team. Now, I don't know why this is the case. My guess, maybe they're not on staff anymore for some reason, and they're just an enforcer, or the role forgot to get added. That could be the case. Now, if any of the staff are watching this video, it's a reminder to give them that role. But I don't know. So basically, the enforcement team, they moderate the Discord. That's about it. I don't know what else they'll do. Like I wrote, unsure if they will be referees when FRS launches. So referees were like the community managers of FRS. And my honest opinion, I think there needs to be different. I think they need to separate referees and enforcement for sure. Because referees are like, they're nice people, you know? I don't think they like handle bans and stuff. I'm not sure how it worked back in like I remember like just watching the old FR videos. The referees were like super kind and they were always like, you know, joining in on the community. So I think personally they're probably referees are gonna be separate from enforcement. I hope. But we'll see. But yeah, there was a lot of enforcement here. So it's pretty bonkers, dude. It's pretty wild. Okay. Next one. Lego. Art. The art team. You got Beanock, Briar, Halion, Rose, Mariah, Dove, Sek, Mac, Mimi. They do all of the new FRS art that you see in the gameplay trailers, as well as art for the Discord. Like, I think, I don't know if it was a mix of people, but I know Mariah did, like, all the or some of the customization features, which is cool. Like I believe she made the paints. I could be wrong about that. I can actually like look right now. I don't know who did what, but like I'm sure it was a collaborative effort. Again, there's a lot of people on the art team. It's crazy. I'm pretty sure I got everyone. If I didn't, you can let me know. But yeah. That's a lot of people. It's a lot. But they do I think like we're in terms of development now. This is where I consider like there to be more developers than you know than the staff or that enforcement says. I'm pretty sure enforcement is the one that says that there's only one developer. This is where they're wrong because I count the art team as development. They are adding things to the game. That's development. You can say it's not, but it is. It certainly is. Like they're doing a lot of work on FRS because they're adding new FRS things. They're like all the clothing you see, that's FRS. All like the UI, that's FRS. And then the art for the Discord was super neat. Like they didn't have to do that. They could have just not done that, but they did. So super sick stuff to see. They're definitely like super needed on the team. But yeah. Anyway, that's that. Moving on to the next staff role. This is a big one. Research and development. So Mikey removed. He's no longer on the research and development team. You got Udaya. You got Udaya. You got Xenonix, Kanoe, Norman, and Atai. I've mentioned this before, but Norman and Atai are research and development. I think this was. I'm pretty sure that they got what they got the role like long after they got PR, which is interesting. So you're probably wondering, what does research and development do? So they help with development, sort of. From what I was told, they help Mayhem locate assets for the game, probably test the game as well. That's my guess. I don't know if they test the game or not, but from what Mikey told me, they do locate assets. So they go through files, look for stuff for Mayhem to help out with development. And this is, again, I count them on the development team. Like, you can say Mayhem is the only one working on the game, but there are people helping with it. I don't like that they keep saying there's only one developer when there's not, because there are people helping with this, okay? That's it. You can't count people out. You can't discount people, that are on the team, because they are doing some very helpful work. Like, imagine not having this, imagine not having the art team, not having research and development team on here, Be crazy. But yeah, that's what research and development do. They help with development. They locate files from AM. Now, I don't know if that's the case still, if they still need to do that. Because again, I don't know where the game's at. But yeah. So the next one. This is it's kind of related to game development, not really. PR, public relations. And that would be Norman and Ty. That's it. From what I gather, they speak for Mayhem. That's a quote, because someone did say, I don't know who said it. So I think I heard it in a voice chat. Norman and Ty speak for Mayhem because he's busy working on the game. Yeah, which is why we don't see updates from him. That time, just yesterday when we saw an update from him, I thought that was wild. It's crazy. Or just the other day or whatever, but the fact that he spoke up was super nice. I'm glad he did that, because that showed he cares. And I'm also assuming they run the YouTube channel as well as community events, because I don't know who did the candy bot. I know Galaxy participated in that event a lot. But I'm pretty sure PR was running the candy bot, and Yeah, and they probably run the YouTube channel as well because they're the ones who post the YouTube videos. They're the ones who tag it. So yeah, it's an important role. I think PR is nice because Mayhem doesn't have to, update us on the game every time. It can be, Norman and Natai, and they can just post an update, and it makes it easier for Mayhem to focus on the game. I think because I think that was a big thing. Is like he did that Q&A and he did all these updates. That's because he had no PR to do it, so he had to say something. But yeah, so that is public relations. Next, staff role. Let's go. Website development. Okay, so there's another role after this that it gets a little confusing to understand. But two website developers are Ryul and Koenchi. So here's my best guess. They're actively developing both the FRS website and launcher so the game is playable. That is what I'm thinking. I don't know if the launcher pertains to the website. I know it pertains to the website, but I don't know if they're developing both at the same time. But yeah, two website developers. They're both working on the website, working away. It's a pretty simple one to understand. I mean, we see Ryul working the Discord on the website, which is neat. I don't know. The launcher could pertain to the game too. I'm not sure, but that's my best guess. Like some of these are guesses because I don't know too much. I'm taking shots in the dark for some of these. But yeah. So anywho, moving on to the next one. Boop. Programming. So Koenchi is not a programmer. He's not in that role. I don't know if he helps with the game or not. But programming, two people have this role, Ryul and Mayhem. They're the only ones who work on the game. It's my best guess that this is separate from the website and launcher and more so focuses on the game, making sure it works and can be played. So yeah, they're the only two working on this. So if you think that this is taking forever, you're right. I mean, it is. We got to be patient, but like there's only two people working on the game itself. So, yeah, I know it's crazy, but yeah, only two people. So if you think this is taking, if you think this should be done now, you're wrong. Cuz they do this in their free time. So, that's that. It's pretty much like I think like going into these roles, diving into them is great because you guys get to understand like what's what. You'll get a general idea of what's the most important and what's what doesn't pertain to the game, and I hope this helps. I know it helped me. I mean, I knew all this stuff, but like yeah. Anywho, moving on to the next one. This is one that is new. Okay? It's one I had to kind of look up I had to look up a definition for operations. And I got like a general idea of what it is. Team operations. So only 3 people have this role. That would be Mayhem, Natai, and Ryul. Again, this one's new. I assume the 3 of them manage and help the teams do the work needed to see the game finished. So like, Mayhem probably, it's like running like a department. Like, I'm guessing Mayhem, he oversees all the teams, right? Natai probably oversees enforcement. He oversees something, and then Ryul probably the same. He probably helps Koenchi, I'm guessing, on the website development. And probably with research and development as well. Same with Natai, I'm guessing, in Mayhem. But yeah, it's I'm guessing it's just a leadership position. That's all it is. It's nothing crazy, nothing out of the blue. It's nothing wild. But yeah, it's a new role, but it's pretty self-explanatory. It's not crazy hard to explain. Just a leadership position. Only 3 of them have it, which is interesting. So now that we know all this information, we gotta break it down because there's a lot that I mentioned. There's a lot of people on the team. Now, here's what I did. Okay, so the results. I kind of went in and went like, okay, there's too much of this, too much of that. There needs to be more of this, more of that. So in my opinion, like there are 10 enforcers. There, do you know that there's 10 enforcers, right? So I think there should be less, at least 5 to 7 total. It's a lot of enforcers. I know, the big server, but like, yeah, it's interesting, like that there's that many enforcers. It's kind of wild. I don't know. I don't know. Like, I know Natai is on enforcement, but maybe he shouldn't be because I don't know how often he deals with. Maybe that's something he oversees on team operations. I'm guessing, but like, ten's a lot. Ten's a lot. Maybe like the referees. You know, maybe some of the enforcement can swap to referees. You know that don't focus on enforcement as much. You know, So moving on over to artists, there are 9 artists in total, like I mentioned. I'm unsure if there needs to be more or less, considering how much work goes in the art that's needed for FRS. So we'll say it's fine where it is. I think that's that might be perfect. Like they probably don't need more artists than that. I think 9 is kind of that sweet spot for the game. And yeah, I can't really say if there needs to be more or less. If there needs to be more, maybe 1 more. If there needs to be less, maybe like 2 less. I don't know, or 1 less. But I think it's fine where it is. As far as research and development goes, there are 5 researchers. 3, if Norman and Natai focus on PR, meaning there needs to be at least 6 in total. So I think Norman and Natai focusing on PR is more important. But I think I know why they're focusing on research and development as well. I think Mayhem, when Mikey left, that brought them down to 4 or 3 if Norman and Natai were on it, and I think they got moved to that position to help out. But I think there needs to be 6 in total of research and development, not including Norman and Natai. I think there needs to be new researchers and developers, just helping out with the project. Because yeah, but I don't know how much research and development there needs to be now. I don't know. I have no idea. Now moving on to the programmers and the website developers, I kind of wrote the same thing here, but there are 2 programmers, 2 website developers. There needs to be more, up to 5. I think that's part of the reason why, like, this is, it's time consuming, and, I think there definitely needs to be more of both. But here's the thing, this is a nonprofit, so I don't know how many people are willing to give their time to volunteer to this for like website development and programming. I'm not sure. And it depends on, like, does Mayhem want that many more people on the project? I think that would be a little much, but I don't know. I think like it's definitely something to worth considering. Like, obviously, like when the artists, I said there doesn't need to be a change, but like with enforcement researchers, I think enforcement's the only one where I said there needs to be less because there's just a lot. And then the other 3 I just said there needs to be more. It's interesting, just like I don't know how the creative writing team's gonna go because there's only 2 on there right now. I'm assuming there's gonna be more, but we'll see. But yeah, I hope this helped you guys understand how the staff works and what each person on the staff does. If it did, yay! I'm glad you learned something today, because it's important to know this stuff, because a lot of people, they take the staff team for granted. And they're like, oh, this is taking too long. Like, there's a lot that goes into this, I'm assuming, right? And if you understand what each person on the staff does, you might appreciate it more, and you might, learn a thing or 2. Now, to end this, I just want to say, go apply to be like a website developer, a programmer, or a research and developer. Because if you do, you'll be helping out the game, okay? That's all I ask that you do. And yeah, I think that'll do it for me. You enjoyed the video. Thank you. I appreciate it. I will probably see you guys in another video. Maybe a meme. Maybe I'll make a meme video. I don't know. Anyway, bye.